are under my power. Look into the hypnotic eye.
You're not dreaming. You're watching Cinema Insomnia.
We are the survivors of a disintegrated solar system.
Tell this to everybody wherever they are. Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the sky.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet. Please assume the position to repeat after Mr. Lobo. You see? Your stupid mind. Stupid. You're watching Cinema Insomnia.
You're not dreaming. You're watching Cinema Insomnia. And this is our Creature Feature Weekend Special from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg, the place where Alexander Graham Lincoln Benjamin Washington gave his famous Gettysburg Address, which I think is right across the street. And, and hello.
Hello.
Come on over. Oh my goodness, what's this? Kathleen, it's so great to see you. Oh my
It's gonna sit
God.
here like it's Santa's lap.
Kathleen Kinmont from Halloween 4.
Yes.
Is it the return of Michael Myers?
The return of Michael Myers.
return, not the resurrection. The return
Yes.
of Michael Myers. Are you having a good time here,
I'm having
Creature
a
Feature
great
Weekend? I think you should sit in this chair. Why don't you sit right here? You've been working so hard
The
all
queen has
weekend.
arrived.
The queen's arrived. I'm sorry, Miss Mittens. The queen has arrived, okay?
Sorry, Miss Mittens.
Don't be jealous, Miss Mittens. She's already started drinking. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her.
She's a mess.
Look at
Hot mess.
look at how sloppy she is.
Aw,
She's got a bottle with her. This is not professional. This
It's
here
not.
is a professional actress. Knows how to work the camera, work the scene. Miss Mittens, she arrives drunk. She doesn't know her lines. Doesn't
I
know how
know
to
mine.
participate.
Get it together.
That's
Miss
right.
Mittens.
You got a script now? Are you looking at your
I
scenes?
do. I have a new possibility.
A new possibility. So we haven't made any commitments
We
yet.
haven't made a commitment,
We're just
yes.
looking at the words on the page,
Just
seeing if
giving
they
it
speak.
a thought.
A thought?
Yes, a possible maybe.
I would love it if you would think, oh, come on right on through, sir. We're not doing anything
Vernon
important.
Wells crossing
Just walk.
through screen.
Vernon Wells, are you kidding me?
No, that's Vernon
Come
Wells.
on over here, Vernon. Vernon Wells. One of the best screen villains of all time. From
Yes.
the Road Warrior, and so many other things.
Yes. Show us your real face.
Many you go better. I mean,
It is a pleasure to meet you. Oh my God! Oh my grip! My God! My hand.
This kind of feels like Fantasy Island right now. It's like, tattoo! Get
Smiles, everyone! Smiles! Welcome to Celebrity Island.
I love you. Love you more.
Come on now.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna hug or something.
You've been doing it all
Fist bump.
weekend.
All right. I'll give you a fist bump. Vernon Wells, ladies and gentlemen. My God.
You never know who's going to be crossing.
I know. Fantastic. This was the best place to just start doing a show.
I would right in
there's
here.
like 40,000 people waiting to walk. Give me yellow too.
Come on through. No, we're not professionals. Just come on through. Just walk right through the shop. Absolutely.
Walk on by. Walk on by.
You were singing in the panel. You were singing in the panel. All right,
go ahead.
go back
Do
to
a
your
slow
table.
fade.
All right, and then they got.
It's the monkey mask.
He had
It's really
he had the mohawk yesterday.
I know.
He had the full Road Warrior gear on yesterday.
He doesn't leave
And
without
it's
a costume.
that's wonderful.
I know.
That's wonderful. So you having a good time?
Having a blast.
Fantastic. Did you enjoy the panel yesterday?
I loved the panel.
Okay,
Yes, it was
okay.
very inspiring. informative. And I love these ladies because we've got, decades of experience, and yet nobody is a sour, bitter old pill.
It's always nice to see.
Yes, it gets very intense the older you get. Jumping into a fiery hoop of entertainment business is pretty easy when you're young, and then the hoop gets smaller and smaller as we get older. But I think that the parts get better and better as you get older too. So if you just hang in there long enough, you might end up playing president of the United States.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I want to see you as the president.
I would too. I think I have leadership qualities just because I'm 5'10", and they can see me when I'm like, hey, over here, over here. That's a leader. Like, you can see the leader in a big crowd.
I like her. She's tall.
She's tall. I can find her in my sights. But yeah, I think that I think I have that ability to kind of gather people and make it look like a lot of fun to paint a fence.
Yes.
Like Tom Sawyer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have to make shit jobs look like glass. And that's a leader.
I think you have to have that quality to survive a convention, don't you think?
Well, absolutely, yes. And I keep coming back, so I must like people.
Well, they like you.
It's a good symbiotic relationship. And you're fabulous, I just have to say. You've done such a great job. Thank you for hosting and being the MC and handing off the mic to your lovely Crystal and having the wherewithal. The smart men are the ones that know to incorporate women and make it a group effort.
Well, I appreciate that. It was just like when they said, oh, you're hosting a women in horror panel. I'm like, can I bring a friend in to help me with that?
That's so nice. Yeah.
And it ended up working out so much better than I could have imagined, And I know it ended up being really, honestly, one of the best choices that I could have.
Great. Well, life is collaborative. And when because women want to work with men. We love men. We want to be part of it. And I think that, it's been run a lot by guys, and I think that women can be put in those power seats too. Directing, writing, producing.
You're in the power seat right now.
Look how quickly you gave me your chair.
So,
that's a gentleman.
When the captain comes on deck, you just gotta,
You're so sweet. Come here, Captain. Thank you.
Hold on a second.
Oh, shit. I'm stepping on your
Let me
mic.
fix this real quick.
I already read.
All right, we'll do this.
Yes.
And then we've got to introduce this movie,
Yes.
but we will be talking to you, I hope, very soon.
I love it.
All right,
Thank you.
fantastic.
Ciao.
Bye.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And we can't top that. You might as well turn off your TVs now. And now, the first reel of whatever the heck this is for our Creature Feature Weekend.
Come in. General? May I see your credentials? Certainly. You ought to have the key. Yes, it arrived by special messenger late this afternoon.
I don't need to remind you of the necessity for absolute security on this, General.
No. I realize that civilization itself may depend on it.
Good luck.
Sergeant, send that Lieutenant Robertson from Security Sector 3 in here.
sir. Lieutenant Robertson reporting his order.
Sit down, Lieutenant, and relax. As you know, Robertson, your Sector 3 has not been cleared for receipt of materials on project visitors. So I'll have to give you a verbal briefing for relay to Colonel Harrison. I'll ask that you not take notes, but that you absorb everything you see and hear. Now, due to certain events which I'm not at liberty to disclose, we feel that Sector 3 will be the probable place for the next contact. Now, pay close attention to the information recorded on this film. It was prepared by L Section of our UFO Division.
This latest military film concerning project visitors was obtained from the remote-controlled high-altitude satellite Space Eyes, as well as from ground tracking stations. The latest ship sighted was of a completely unfamiliar design and came under hyper-radar and infrared surveillance at 2300 hours yesterday. The alien ship veered for a close pass at the United States Remote Meteorological Laboratory in orbit 15CX. No attempt at communication was made. The orbiting object then resumed its Earth intercept course at a rocky point along the Sierra Madre in the western portion of the United States. The ship then set a low-altitude course to the east at an extremely low rate of speed. The official evaluation of Headquarters Command is that the space vehicle is probably manned, will effect a surface landing, and must be presumed to be unfriendly. It is imperative that absolutely no public information be released at this time to prevent the probable worldwide panic. Infrared scanners lost contact with the vehicle over the central United States in the general area of Security Sector 6.
Any questions? All right, Lieutenant, your transportation's waiting. You should be back in your sector within an hour. Oh, Lieutenant, you tell Colonel Harrison that I want those infrared scanners manned every minute, 24 hours a day, and that's an order.
Yes, sir.
Take off.
Got anything on the infrared scope?
Yep. Moving body.
Get it on the scanner.
Harold?
Yeah?
Harold, somehow I had the feeling that we're being watched.
Well, sure we are, by all the kids in the other cars. Later on, we may watch them for a while. Right now, let's get back to minding our own business.
But, Harold, I just know they're watching us.
Good. Now that's over. Let's go back.
Wait. The feeling I have is it's like someone out there is watching us.
It's just your imagination, pussycat. There's no one kicking.
Oh, I truly admire science.
Yuck. Creepy crawlers. Thing Maker 2. In about an hour, you can make lots of things that look awful and feel terrible. Creepy crawlers. Preheat the goop, pour in the molds, and wait. Yuck. Creepy crawlers. Thing Maker 2. An electrical toy.
It's disgusting.
Creepy crawlers. Thing Maker 2 comes with 3 molds and 4 bottles of goop. New from Mattel.
Science couldn't explain it, but there it was, alive in the deep, deep waters of the Amazon. A throwback to a creature that had existed 100 million years ago, immensely strong and destructive. A woman's beauty, the bait that brought it out of its lair. Sea underwater thrills never photographed before. See titanic underwater battles never dreamed of before in this most terrifying of the science fiction adventures.
Please assume the position to repeat after Mr. Lobo. I, as initiated member of the Sleepless Nights of Insomnia, do solemnly swear to watch the movie, the whole movie, and nothing but the movie, so help me, Mr. Lobo. You may stand down.
Playing Peeping Tom again, right?
Right, sir.
Culver, how many times have you been busted for pulling shenanigans just like that?
You mean this year, sir?
All together.
3 times, sir.
We're here for a reason. A reason important to the national security, and don't ever forget it.
No, sir. No, sir.
We're here to watch the skies and not the skylines, right?
Right, sir.
You're ever so right, sir.
Bad things are going on up there, right?
Right, sir.
Right. What kind of things, sir?
Never you mind. You're here to watch the sky and not the skyline, right?
Oh, boy, are you ever right, sir?
Right, sir.
Now that that's established, let's take a look and see how the infra scanner's working.
Ooh, Harold.
How about that, pussycat?
Yeah. How about that? Sir.
I think I may make Harold my hero. Well, back to business, man.
I have just got to look that girl up when I get into town.
How will you find her?
I'd recognize her eyes. Any place.
I'll clue you, Corporal. The place most of these kids end up is... the pokey. Of course not. They're good kids. They end up at the terrace at the lake. Not that I go to places like that myself.
Now, will there be anything else?
Right now, I can't afford what I'm thinking.
I'm sure of that. And I got news for you. You never will.
Say, there is one thing. I was wondering if you could tell me how to... Well, I can't read my own writing here. Let's see. Could you tell me how to get to first base with you tonight? Well, at least I tried.
Trying's all we ever do, ever since we hit this town. We should have never come here in the first place.
Guess a guy's got to be a native in this burg before Dan will give him a break.
Don't give me that. Let's go home. I'm bushed.
Look, this is country, man. Things move slow here. I tell you, I got a tip that this town's a cinch for a quick buck. Look, so all we have to do is get some kind of pitch going at the fairground. Now's all we have to worry about finding the right thing.
Skip it. I'm going to bed. We'll pull out in the morning.
Well, I'm loaded for action tonight. I think I'll take a drive and see what I can pick up.
Fat chance. Remember, the car's half mine, so drive carefully.
Your half's the front seat. I won't be using your half much tonight.
Oh, big lover. All mouth, no action.
Want to lift back to the boarding house?
No, I want to walk off my great expectation. I wouldn't want to hold back the wheels of progress. Or should I say the progress of a big wheel.
How about that, baby?
Oh, Harold. When you kiss me, I just see explosions.
You know what? When he kisses her, I see explosions too.
Come on. Stop talking. Let's watch.
Sure it was out by the old baby place?
Sure, dead sure.
Well, it was probably a plane going down. Anything could happen with these crazy electrical storms we've been having.
That's it. Low lightning, what else? Or do you still believe the old Bailey house is haunted?
Maybe the ghosts have come back. That old place was built before the Civil War. Could be.
Well, how's your recruiting coming along, Lieutenant?
Not bad.
Hey, why don't you Shanghai a couple of them?
Are you kidding?
Wonder what they're jabbering about. I don't see any girls around, so what's keeping you Romeo so busy?
Jim just saw a spaceship.
Only one. With all the beer he drank, you'd think he'd see at least 6, and in different colors.
This one was green.
Oh, I always preferred the yellow ones myself. Say, speaking of yellow ones, why don't y'all go over and talk to that Air Force recruiting officer?
So that's what he is. I've seen him hanging around town.
That's what he says he is. The boys were just kidding about seeing a spaceship, Lieutenant.
Everyone knows there's no such thing. How many times do we have to deny it before people will believe us?
Well, excuse me, flyboy.
Better watch out. The way things are going, he may be giving some of you orders next month.
Man, I'm booked. They're dragging me in feet first.
I thought you had a date with Susan tonight.
I do. I'm picking her up at 9:30. She's fussing with a new dress.
Man, don't put this on. We know you're waiting for an old man to get out of the house.
What kind of dress takes that long to get into?
You gotta admit, Susan's got a lot of the right things to put in the right places.
Yeah, and they're all mine. I'll see you guys later.
Right, we'll see.
You're not dreaming. You're watching Cinema Insomnia, and I'm here with Daryl Rabideau, who is known on the interweb as the film location tourist. Now, what exactly is a film location tourist?
Well, it's a hobby that not only I have, but many people I've met over the years have, in which you're watching your favorite film, you might see a street sign or a building that looks familiar, and you're like, I wonder where this was filmed. Now you take it a step beyond, say, IMDb or Google Maps, and you're like, I want to go see where that movie was filmed. I want to walk in that person's footsteps. I want to be in that movie. So I track down these locations, some very obscure, some very well known, and I take a road trip out. I rewatch the movie. I have the screenshots, and try to match it up and put myself in the movie.
And you take a picture that's a similar shot?
I try to match up, obviously I can't do a crane shot, but I try to do,
to get the elements in there so people can see it's the same place.
Yeah, to show you what it looks like now and to say, hey, I was there where this happened.
What that makes me think of is the first time we went to Monster Bash, in Pittsburgh, where they filmed Night of the Living Dead, right?
That's good.
We all drove out to Evans City Cemetery.
Sure.
And everybody wanted to put their head on this one headstone that Johnny fell down on.
Right.
Everyone wanted to look around the one headstone like the zombie or Barbara.
Yeah.
And everyone takes the same pictures because they want to relive that moment. From that movie. The Rocky Steps are kind of like that.
You gotta run up the Rocky Steps.
Blobfest is like that. Everyone wants to run out of the Colonial Theater. But this is a whole community, right? This is a whole fandom.
When I started maybe 10, 15 years ago, I just thought it was an odd hobby. I would do this stuff. And I think it was somewhere in Pittsburgh I ran into someone that was doing tours of the Romero locations. And the first thing I said to him was like, I thought I was the only one. And then you meet someone and you make a group. And then it's all over the internet now. People are doing it everywhere. In fact, when I leave here today, I'm going to do some locations nearby.
Wow, fantastic. Well, we're going to be back here with Daryl Rabideau. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of Daryl and a film location tourist.
Like you, I love to shred. But even a hardcore skate punk like myself eats it sometimes. I'm not like those other bougie lawyers. I'm on your side, fam. I'm Rad Abrams, skateboard attorney.
Dude, I can't even. I was lit AF.
Even if you can't even, and we're lit AF. I got you. My legal skills are every bit as on fleek as my boarding skills.
The judge was being hella sus. But Brad hooked it up. He got me $72 and this bag of weed.
It's medicine now. We're just trying to help you manage your pain. Let Uncle Rad hook you up.
Don't delay. Call Rad Abrams and Associates today. Look for our ad in Pressure Magazine.
Follow me on Instagram. Later days, deuces.
While the beach set twists to the big beat sound of the Delaires, swinging out with 6 rocking hits. While the cycle gangs burn up the road and strong-arm their way into the party with fists flying. While teenagers prepare for a secluded slumber party, terror strikes from the bottom of the sea. An invasion of ghoulish atomic beasts who live off human blood. Can they be killed? I don't know, Lieutenant.
They are the living dead. They're zombies.
Again and again, the fiendish monsters struck like nothing that ever stalked this earth. An entire city in the throes of panic, at the mercy of demons from the dead.
And we're back with Daryl, film location tourist, and during the break we've been talking about film locations that Cinsomniacs might know.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now a lot of sleepless nights out there, they watch the show and they're maybe watching something like The Horror of Party Beach. Now you actually went to Stamford, Connecticut.
I did. That's a location not many people have been to, but it's a great film. I mean, you have monsters, you've got a rock band, you got the hot dog monster. I actually found the beach where that scene was filmed. Was it the Delaires?
The Delaires, the band.
The
yeah,
band?
we had the Delaires on our show.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Delaires of Zone 4.
Yeah.
The Citibank bought the name, and then they sent touring groups around the country playing as the Delaires. Yeah.
So I went to the beach where the hot dog monster pops out of the water, the jetty there that goes out.
Yeah.
There's a new amphitheater.
Why don't you show those to Aaron? So this is the amphitheater where the Delaires performed. Everybody do the zombie stomp. Ba, 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 ba. You put down your foot down with an awful clump. So So the Delaires played there, right?
Yep.
Elaine, that's my baby's name. So there it is, the amphitheater from Horror Party Beach, and then there's another one from Horror Party Beach?
Yeah, the amphitheater, the beach, the jetty, the deli that the two girls came out of, where the hot dog monster chases them somewhere down here.
I just thought of something, Daryl.
Yes.
This is now a film location for Cinema Insomnia right here.
It's true.
So I guess, why don't you take your camera and you can take my picture, and then actually we'll have to compare with Aaron's footage first of how the episode turns out. And then we'll come back here
and replicate the shot.
And replicate the shot from the final episode. What do you think? Is that a great idea?
That sounds awesome.
All right, well, let's do that real soon. Thank you, Daryl Rabideau.
You have
film, location, tourist. Now let's get back into this movie.
Mike, we've made it. At last we've hit the jackpot.
Oh, turn off that light, you bum.
Wake up, I said. Mike, we've got it made. We're millionaires.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go to bed.
But this is different. It's big.
Oh.
Now look, I'm not trying to give you a pitch, but get this. You and me are gonna put on an exhibition with the first and only truly authentic spaceship.
You woke me up to tell me that?
Told you it was big, didn't I? Well, I've seen one, just like all these jokers have been saying. It's big and round and glows sort of funny-like and gives off this funny sound like rrr, rrr, like that.
Oh, rrr, like that, huh?
Yeah, and it landed over somewhere near that old house that's supposed to be haunted. Great, isn't it? All right. But when I'm rolling in the dough, don't say that I didn't invite you in. Okay. You're invited out. I'll handle it myself. Go on. Go back to sleep. Sleep your life away.
Sir? Come in, Wayne. Why are these blasted alarms always at night? About this so-called spaceship of yours. Just where do you think it is?
From what these kids said, it must be somewhere northeast of town.
Well, that checks with the last report we had from the radar station. I assume your man had it on the scope.
Hadn't we better get right out there, sir? The general was pretty sore at us for letting the last one get out of our scope. Army intelligence really scooped us that time.
Scoop, did you say?
Just a figure of speech, sir.
Well, I hope so. Lieutenant, there's just one thing I want to caution you about.
Yes, sir.
Our job is to prevent a possible nationwide panic by keeping the information from the public. I figured a public information officer is about the last thing we need.
I didn't request this assignment, sir.
I know that. But get this straight, Robertson. If you leak one word of any of this to your cronies, I'll have you court-martialed and shot. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed, sir.
Good. Now go down the hall and get your men. And tell them to load their weapons.
Can hardly see the road.
We want to get there in one piece.
Relax, honey. It's only about a half a mile to the highway. We'll make it. Nothing to be afraid of.
I don't know. It happened so fast.
I didn't even see it.
Hey, wait for me. Stan, what have we done? It's a body.
Come on, give me a hand. Let's take him to the hospital.
alive?
Whatever it is, I killed it.
Oh. I think I'm going to be sick. Oh, Stan, take me away from here. What was that?
It's a tire. The fender must have cut it when we hit that thing.
Are we stuck here?
Well, we can't drive on it. It'll ride off the rim, and I haven't got a spare. Look, we'll go to the old Bailey house and call the police. That's all we can do.
What was that?
Wind, I guess. Come on.
All of the costume contest participants will come back up here, and I will bestow upon them these very cheap and sad awards I made for them. It's the thought that counts. I also have Crystal Quinn, my good friend here, reviewer on Hack the Movies, on the YouTube-tubes, on your interweb. Go to your public library. They have computers there now that can talk to each other. On the YouTubes, you can watch a show called Hack the Movies, in which Crystal and two other bums that I don't even want to talk about movies. Are you a scream queen? Can you prove that? Okay, let's see it.
We come in peace to bring you terrific tasting space dust sizzling candy.
Space dust?
Wait till you experience the sizzle of galactic grape, orbiting orange, and cosmic cherry flavors.
Wow, the cherry tastes delicious!
I'm sizzling grape.
Space dust sizzling candy. In your mouth, it's out of this world.
Far out.
Space Dust, available in outer space or your local store.
In the near future, in the shadow of Saturn's rings, stranded beneath the surface of the barren moon called Titan, scientists find the one thing they never expected.
Is anybody here?
Was expecting them.
Oh my God!
And suddenly, those who had traveled across the galaxy had run out of space. Creature.
We found someone's collection of life from all over the galaxy, like a child's butterfly collection. Only some of these butterflies are not so friendly.
Who wants to keep us here?
What's that?
It's open one of the doors.
This thing is using it for food. It's using our own man to kill each other. No!
Creature. It kills to live, and it lives to kill.
You're not dreaming. We are here at, where the heck are we? Is this Monster Con? Western Monster? Creature Monster Con. Creature Feature Weekend, that's what it is. Yes. Creature Feature Weekend. And man, are we having a great time. There's no other place like this place, wherever this is. We're here at Mr. Lobo's table. This is where I hawk my merchandise. And go right ahead, go on through. Absolutely, we're not doing anything important. And I'm here with Joel, one of our big fans from the Sleepless Nights of Insomnia. Joel, you having a good time here?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, your name's Gerald?
Yes.
How come you never said anything before?
Oh, I have. I've written. Have you got?
You know, maybe I just ignored those messages. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, as you should.
You know, I'm very busy. All right. Okay. So Gerald or whatever is here. Now I don't know how to think about anything anymore. I don't know where we are. I don't know who we're with.
Well, it's a very confusing time.
I don't know.
It's all fun.
So okay. So you've been having a good time so far?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Very, very much.
Yes. So have you seen anything?
Sure. Well, last night we were in Gettysburg and saw some ghosts.
You saw ghosts in Gettysburg?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Go on through, sir. Absolutely. Yep. Nothing to see here. Don't be worried. Don't be bothered by this. So you saw ghosts in Gettysburg?
Absolutely, yes.
That's amazing. And what happens when you see a ghost? You like call a 900 number? Or?
Well, I realized that my children are much braver than I am.
Oh, wow.
That's what.
Was this like a Civil War ghost?
Well, yes,
or?
sort of. It was a ghost tour in the city.
Yeah.
From the Civil War era all the way up until modern days, people are still experiencing ghosts.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now I feel like I missed out. I should have gone ghost hunting with you last night.
I find it interesting because I was so afraid there, but the children are afraid here. So that was fun for them. This is fun for me.
That's interesting.
It never seems to work out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's either we're afraid of something that's real, or they're afraid of something that's not real. I feel like the line from Plan 9 from Outer Space, where he's like saying that it's funny when you think about it, that people who can think, the living, are afraid of the dead who cannot, or whatever. I don't know. Well, we're going to try to get our brains together. I think some coffee will certainly help. I don't know if this movie tonight is going to help. Let's find out as we go into the next reel of tonight's feature.
Anybody home?
Hurry, Stan. We've got no right to be here.
I wonder where he keeps the phone.
I wonder if he has a phone.
Come on. Honey, I'd rather do it myself.
I'd rather you did it, too. Opening strange doors isn't the thing for a good, clean, living American girl to do.
You're right. You can never tell what's on the other side.
Hey, Stan. There's the phone on the wall.
Oh, thanks. Now, you see, there's nothing to be afraid of. You just keep your wits about you and things begin to take on the proper perspective.
Oh, you men, so masterful.
I know. You're a very lucky girl to have a guy like me.
Keep telling me.
Operator, give me the police department. It's an emergency. Hello? My name is Kenyon, Stan Kenyon. I'm out here at the old Bailey place.
What's the trouble? Yeah. Oh, sure. You've seen some little spaceman. I know, from another planet. Look, do me a favor. If you see him again, will you give him my love and tell him to go home? Well, it's Saturday night, all right. That just made it official.
He thought I was kidding.
No.
Take it easy, honey. set of cops. Operator? Hello? Hello? Operator? The darn phone's dead. I guess the lightning got it.
Sam, there was something out there. It was looking at me. No, but I saw it.
What are you doing in my house?
You're right, he does look like a spaceman. Hi, Mr. Bailey. We hit something with our car, and we came up here to call the police. You were out.
The door was open.
That don't give you the right to walk in. Who was it you hit?
It wasn't a person. It was a thing.
Oh, it don't make no difference. It all spells people. And people spells trouble. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen if you kids didn't stay off my property. Yeah. We'll call the police, all right.
The phone's dead.
That's what you say.
Look, we didn't kill anybody. I mean, it wasn't a person.
It was a space thing, a monster.
I know it sounds crazy.
You kids been drinking?
No, sir.
What's your name, Sonny?
Stan Kenyon. I work down at Blender's gas station.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen you before.
We didn't hurt anything human.
Okay, we'll go.
And you tell your friends they'd better keep off of my property, or they'll get a backside full of rock salt.
Yes, sir.
Now you get.
All right.
All right, come on, get.
Okay.
You're not dreaming, you're watching Cinema Insomnia, and I'm here with Eileen Dietz. Best known for The Exorcist, but man, you worked in a lot. You worked a lot.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
A lot. Let's get the big one off the table. How did you come by doing the voice in The Exorcist?
Not the voice.
No?
Come on. No, I did the demon that possessed Reagan. Mercedes McCambridge did the voice.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't do the voice in that? I always thought that was you.
No. What we kind of did.
But you're the face.
I certainly was that face.
Yes.
That's Pazuzu.
Yes.
But
and we see that just for a flash in the film.
not in the latest one. The first one is only a quick flash.
Yeah.
The latest one shows up like 4 times. And I always wonder from fans which was more effective.
Yeah.
But the first one was just on Karis's mother coming out of the soda.
That face gave me nightmares.
Everybody else too.
Yeah.
I also did, I was made up to look like Reagan.
Yes.
And I ended up doing all the fun scenes there.
All the fun scenes got thrown around, tossed around, the throwing up.
Masturbated.
Wow.
So it was. I actually worked on the film 4 months.
Wow. And did you audition for that?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did.
Wow.
I was doing a play in New York. Oh, by the way, I'll put an insert.
Okay.
I wrote a book called Exercising My Demon, and it really tells about
Exercising My Demon.
Right.
Get that now.
And you can find me on Facebook. That's the best way to order the book. Don't go to Amazon because you won't get it autographed.
That's right. You want it autographed. What's wrong with you? Don't go to Amazon. Get it autographed. Eileen is going to take care of you.
Right. So just go to Eileen Dietz, ask to be my friend. And that's always so fun.
And then
Ask
you
to be
can,
my
yeah,
friend.
ask to be my friend.
Or you can go to
Yeah.
EileenDietz.com.
EileenDietz.com. All right.
But it really tells about, first of all, it tells how I became an actress.
Yes.
This little flat-chested, little buck-toothed little girl from New York City saying, I want to be an actress. And we went, yeah, right? And it was only, like 8 or 10 years maybe since Jane Mansfield and Bridget Bardot and Jane Russell, the big ladies, big tits, right? And a little person here saying, I want to be an actor. Yeah, right. And somewhere in the middle, I do talk about dreams.
Sure.
And don't drop your dream, it breaks.
I like that. You
My
said
sister
you
coined that.
said that in the panel. If
Yeah.
you drop a dream, it breaks. I feel like everyone should write that down
I
and
know.
keep it in their breast
And you
pocket.
got to follow your dreams, no matter what the dream is. And there's so much negativity out there. So that's my long answer to how.
No,
how
but
did
there
I
was a lot
become an actress?
there was a lot of insight in that, and I think it is important that you don't always get the biggest breaks, and you don't always get the best opportunities. But if you spend every day of your life doing something that's meaningful to you, that's not a bad deal.
What's wrong with Dracula? He's losing his monster power. So is Frankenstein. Quick, into the Monsterizer.
You can activate the Monsterizer, batteries not included, and imagine you're restoring monster power to Frankenstein. Figures sold separately. You crank him into the chamber. It closes automatically.
Activate the Monsterizer. I feel like a new monster.
The Monsterizer comes complete as shown. Frankenstein and Dracula figures are sold separately. New from Remco.
Is it over?
No.
Is she gonna die?
When I touch your forehead, open your eyes.
Did you see her or not? She's acting like she's out of her mind!
You comfortable, Ray?
Yes.
Your daughter doesn't say she's a demon. She says she's the devil himself.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
The demon is a liar. The attack is psychological and powerful.
You're not my mother!
Damien!
Amen.
Tell us about Planet of the Apes.
Okay, so I was there in Hollywood, and there's a whole long story. They wanted to discredit me and, give all the attention to Linda so she could win the Oscar, but she didn't. But I didn't know what to do, so I walked on the 20th Century Fox lot that was shooting Planet of the Apes. And at that time, you kind of could, although you weren't supposed to. And I went into Marvin Page's office, who was the casting director. And I said, I just came off this huge makeup show. I want to be an ape. So he had me read for the part of a chimp.
Yeah.
And I got the part.
Awesome.
So that was the first job we did in Hollywood.
Oh,
Roddy
really?
McDowell was amazing.
Boy, he was
and then I walked
what a
into-
charming guy, huh?
Oh, he was fabulous, A lot of things were funny. You had to wear sneakers inside the feet. You had to eat with a straw. because you couldn't see the end of your mouth.
Now, I interviewed Don Pedro Colley, who was in the Planet of the Apes, and something he said that was very interesting is that all the apes ate together, all the chimps ate together, like everyone kind of self-segregated.
I don't remember that.
Don't remember that?
Not on the TV show.
Not on the TV show? Okay, I was just wondering if that was something that may have carried over.
I just remember having to eat, drink with a straw.
Were you friends with the other chimps?
No.
No? You just showed up and
Well, there weren't that many in my show.
Okay.
There were no other. I was a family. We were a family. We had a cow that was pregnant.
Okay.
And my brother said, haven't you watched the episode?
I mean, years
Never
ago.
mind, I'm not going to stick you with
All right.
So he said that the cow wouldn't be able to have the calves because we had a white guy on the farm.
Okay.
So he hated him.
Okay.
And eventually the calf gave birth to twins.
Okay.
Roddy
Spoilers.
McDowell broke his leg.
Okay.
And that's why he was staying at the farm.
Okay.
And then I had this crush on him. It was, please don't go. Don't go, and stuff like that. But it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And then I walked over to a show called Krut.
Oh,
70,000 BC.
Krut,
And I just came up with
70,000 years BC.
Right.
Yes.
And my big line, they said, Solo, Solo, was of course Mom Brenda. Remember?
Yeah, Stella, right?
Yeah.
Now, also you were in Clonus Horror, too.
Yeah, that's a cult favorite now. I think they changed the name. I can't remember what they changed.
It's something, the Clonus
We've been
Horror.
doing this all day.
You don't know what the other name is?
I can't think of it right now.
Oh, man.
And that was fun. That's
A
become a cult
million
favorite
people with
also.
a phone, and nobody is ready to fact check Clonus Horror for us. All right, so tell us about how fun it was. Was it fun?
It was just fun. It was just fun. We all had to speak in a strange brogue because we were all, replicas, real people. So we spoke like that, and it was fun.
And who directed that? Do you remember?
I think his name was Randy.
Okay.
Randy? I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yes. Oh, it was.
But it's become really a cult.
It is one of those cult. And speaking of cults of a real kind, Helter Skelter. Yeah.
That's one of I can say that about all my projects, but that was one of my favorite projects.
And it really is a cult movie.
I know. I did a lot of research on that, and I have great sympathy.
Did you read the book?
Oh, yeah.
What an amazing book that is. It's like almost a procedural where it goes through every day things that happen.
But books are always great. The book about The Exorcist, the original book, is fabulous, and it ends differently.
But a book is not a movie, and a movie is not a book.
That is for sure.
When I want to curl up in the bathtub with a book, there's nothing better than a book. But when I want to watch a movie, a book is not a replacement.
They're just two different forms.
Two different forms. A sculpture versus a dance.
You can read my book.
I'll read your
In
book.
the bathtub.
And where's the movie?
We talked about doing a movie, just a very simple one. You never know. You could do it. Because it's all in first person.
You never know.
You never know.
Mike, Carl, now listen. Listen, Mike. This time I've got proof.
What is it, Carl?
Now listen, Mike. I can't tell you what it is, but I swear I'm telling you the truth. I can't tell you what it is. Because I don't know what it is. It's stuck under a car. Now listen, Mike. Get a cab and come out here. I need your help.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. I'm going back to sleep.
But Mike!
But nothing. Goodbye.
Mike! Don't hang up. Now listen. Do me just one favor. Clean everything out of the refrigerator.
The refrigerator?
Yeah. What I'm bringing home is perishable. We've got to keep it on ice. Got it, Mike? Including the shelves. That's my boy. You won't regret it. I swear to you. You do believe me, don't you? I'll be right home with it.
Sure, everything out of the refrigerator.
Everything. Got it?
I got it!
Everything.
Here. What the heck am I doing? I'm as crazy as he is.
I see it, but I don't think I believe it.
What a story.
That's the green light our jet pilots have been telling us they've seen.
Now you're cooking with gas.
Sir, enough with the jokes, Lieutenant. If those things turn out to be unfriendly...
You've got a point there, sir. Shall I drive closer so we can get a better look?
No, let's stay right here. Something may be watching us right now. Airman, get me guard headquarters on that shortwave radio. I'm going to get some engineers right out here and see if we can get inside those things.
You think we should get some photographers, sir?
Lieutenant, when you've been in the Air Force as long as I have, you'll learn you don't have to think. All you do is follow standard operating procedures.
Yes, sir.
In this case, SOP calls for engineers, not photographers.
Excuse me, sir. I've got the National Guard.
Give me that thing. I'm going to report this personally.
Listen.
Yeah, come on, let's see what it is.
What is it?
It's one of those space things, a live one.
What's making that noise?
He's banging away at the fender of the car with some kind of a hammer.
Oh, let's get out of here.
I'm with you. You okay?
Yeah. Oh, how much further?
Just about another quarter of a mile to the highway.
Oh, I wish we had stuck to the main road. These shoes weren't meant for plowed fields.
I know, honey, but believe me, it's shorter. Okay? Police car.
They must have believed you after all.
Come on, let's go back there. The police will take care of those things.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Delicious things to eat. The popcorn can't be beat. The The sparkling drinks are just dandy, the chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
10 years ago, on the night of October 31st, a small Midwestern town fell victim to an escaped killer. Under the cover of darkness, he carried out the most horrifying mass murder on record. 16 people in cold blood. Ever since that night, no one has forgotten his name. And Halloween has never been the same. Now, Michael Myers has come home. He has returned for one more night of unholy terror.
Michael! Somebody help me!
He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way.
Oh, God!
Who's gonna be next?
Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
Maybe nobody knows how to stop him.
What is it?
Say, what is it? Hey, why it's Buttercup. Popcorn, add sweet cream butter to hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight.
It's so munchy,
Crisp and crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite.
Eat butter-drenched Buttercup, popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
You're not dreaming, you are here with some of the most delightful women of horror, the subject of our panel today. A big hand for everyone that is here. Starting on the very end here, we have Caroline Williams. Caroline, of course, we love her in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. But of course, you can see her in, 10 Minutes to Midnight and Green Light. And of course, sitting next to her, the sweet, soulful sounds of Kathleen Kinmont, ladies and gentlemen. Probably best known for Halloween 4, which was, the return of Michael Myers. But of course, she has Phoenix, the television show, and Aloha with Love. Sitting next to Kathleen is, of course, Nancy Loomis Kyes from the original Halloween. And many of you might not know, but she's a teacher, she's a sculptor, and has been in a jillion movies on top of all that. So big applause to her. And of course, Eileen Dietz, ladies and gentlemen, from The Exorcist. And she was in the Planet of the Apes TV series, which I loved as a kid, and Helter Skelter, and so many other things. Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure. That's such a good voice.
Wow, wow. When I was asked to host the Women in Horror panel, I thought, it would be more appropriate if it wasn't just Mr. Lobo trying to mansplain women in horror to everybody. That if I could bring my friend Crystal, who we worked on several movies together and is a scream queen in her own right, and to come and kind of take over and ask poignant questions that are relatable to the topic. Crystal Quinn and I, we worked together on a movie called Swamp Zombies 2.
Oh, yeah.
It is certainly my pleasure and my honor to introduce my friend Crystal Quinn, who is going to be helping us with royalty here, with our horror queens up here. So a big hand for Crystal.
So my first question, just to get right in, is say, how did each one of you get started? Whoever wants to start, go ahead.
Well, I did, I was acting before that. Wanted to be an actress since I was 7 years old and didn't quite know what to do, so I just figured it out. And I did a lot of other work, but then I did The Exorcist, and that just led me to everything else opening up. And it's all I shoot actually right now, is horror. And I love it. And it was amazing. It did a play, and an agent came to see it, and they literally called me up in New York City and said, do you want to audition for this movie? We need someone small and strong. And the rest, as they say, is...
You're the strong, small woman there. Yes, I love it. Anyone else like to share how they got started?
I started, I was trained in the theater, and I wanted to work on the stage, but I was trained in Chicago, and it was too cold in Chicago, so I moved to LA, and that meant I was probably going to have most opportunities in television or films. And I didn't know anything about film, so I went down to USC because all the graduate students down there were looking for people to work in their films, and I needed film experience. And it just so happened that Tommy Wallace was a grad student there, so I made a film for him, and he had a friend named John Carpenter who was busy making Dark Star. So I really just sort of fell into it. But what I really liked was working behind the camera, because I was trained in the theater to do all those jobs. And so really what I was doing, working in front of the camera, was really just, okay, I'll do that too, right? And I also did costumes. And
So you meet John Carpenter and Tommy Wallace, and I mean, you guys must have developed a connection or a friendship because you worked together many, many times.
Yeah, because it was independent filmmaking, right? And everybody just sort of works with everybody who's around and who's available, and it's very, very much just a gang, right? And you just hang together. And
I want to be in a gang like
we were lucky. Well, we were lucky. We were pretty lucky. I mean, Dark Star was a pretty big underground hit. How many of you have seen Dark Star?
I love Dark Star.
Dark Star is one of my favorite movies ever. It's a great movie.
Talk to the Bob.
Yeah, and
teach it phenomenology.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how it happened for me.
Just happens to become friends with John Carpenter. What a dream. Anyone else?
Well, I guess we'll go in a row. I was born on TV. My mother, Abby Dalton, was on the Joey Bishop show, and I was literally the very last episode. So I was kind of born into a family of show business, and followed my mom's footsteps. When I was around 15, I knew I wanted to be an actor. So at 16, she gave me a check and said there's an acting class around the corner, James Best Theater. Same class that Quentin Tarantino actually happened to be in, who was like at the back of the class scribbling down a bunch of stuff on his crazy yellow legal pad. And nobody knew anything, but it was a bunch of adults doing work in front of a camera. It was specifically for...
The class I should have taken.
So it was all film technique and recognizable working actors in the class, and that was really cool and intimidating because I was 16 and riding my bike to class. And I just kind of just kept going with working on scenes and working on study, and then at 18 I got an agent and started going out on auditions, And I was 19 when I booked the role of Kelly Meeker in Halloween 4. And that was an audition process of just going in and doing it. And, you know, I mean, I knew that it was a big franchise, but, you know, I wasn't really that savvy about films anyway. I was just so young. But when I got on the set and met Donald Pleasance and knew I was in the company of, you know, a really fine actor, and we were all kids, but we knew that something special was happening. I mean, we certainly didn't know that it was going to be the cult film that it was, but we knew it was a franchise and that it was up to us to save it.
You brought back Michael Myers.
Yeah. We brought back Michael Myers, and it was scary and fun, and I just remember thinking, wow, I'm on location, I'm doing what I want to do.
So you said you were basically born into this entertainment family. Were they supportive? Were they like, listen, we've done this, nah, don't do this? How was their reaction when you said you wanted to be an actor?
She knew that it was something special, and that if I really, really wanted it, that I would have to really, really go for it. So like, she gave me a check. She gave me the phone number to her agent. The rest was up to me. Wow. To do the work, learn the craft, and show up. And that's not easy.
That doesn't sound easy at all, but it sounds like you had the perfect kind of guidance. As if, here you go, we're gonna throw you in the pool so you learned how to swim. We're gonna have you try on your own, but we're here to catch you.
Yeah, I had an excellent lifeguard.
That sounds phenomenal. Yeah, it really is. All right, so we have the last story of how you got started in acting in horror.
I landed in Chainsaw 2. You know, I had started my career. My first movie was for Louis Malle. My second one was for Rob Cohen, Legend of Billie Jean, which I still love deeply, and it's still very contemporary.
It's a cult.
And then there were auditions for Chainsaw 2. Wow. And it's a very famous audition story. I can give it to you in 4 sentences. I ran screaming down the outside hallway. I burst into the casting room and pulled the chairs out from under Toby and Kit. I backed into the corner saying the single line in the audition material, "They live on fear, they live on fear." I got cast.
Wow.
Wow. I now want to do that for every single audition. I don't care what it is. It's a romantic comedy. I'm going like that. That is absolutely amazing.
Well, that's the script, the pages we were given were all action and not dialogue. Wow. And that tells you as an actor, this is an action film. I need to show some physicality.
And
I thought nobody else is going to do what I'm going to do.
No.
Because it's a bold move.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What made you want to audition for a horror versus anything else, especially with handing an audition script and saying, all action, gonna do this. This is the movie I want to audition for.
Toby Hooper.
That's amazing. Going up to these directors and writers, have you guys ever experienced a time where they look down upon you for being a female, or just the opposite? Have you ever experienced any type of sexism on set working, or even off camera as well? Because I know a few of you said you do off camera work, producing, writing, directing. Have any of you experienced any of that type of experience?
I haven't.
You have, and that's great.
You've never been sexually harassed, Eileen?
No, people have been very respectful of me as a woman.
That's fantastic.
I really, I mean, maybe they said things behind my back, but no, I've never had a problem.
That's fantastic. Anyone else like to share a story or an experience?
I have. I've experienced probably the whole gamut of what there can be to be a woman and be in Hollywood. It's not pleasant.
I agree.
It's something that you have to find a way to cope, absorb, and deal with. Yeah, coping is it, because it is a traumatic thing, and you don't want to get into a place where it just becomes this obstacle in your path, and you close your mind off to what is positive about the industry.
And you said about coping, and I know everyone copes differently with different types of stresses. Did you find one way coping better than another way? Would you like to share how you coped? As anyone else is going through experiences such as you have mentioned, what are some great ways to cope? Do you say direct it ask directly to the director or whoever is creating an issue? What do you suggest?
No, I'm of a generation where that was not an option.
Wow.
And I'm probably the oldest person here. It was just not an option. I internalized it and then later spent several $100,000 at the psychiatrist's office. And you know, I think now the having the opportunities to be able to answer a question like that in a pretty honest and direct way is a great gift, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hearing these experiences, yeah, please. And I think it's so important to hear these experiences because it not only shows a progress that's happening in the film industry, but also an industry I know I personally love. I absolutely love the horror industry, and I feel like this community is a little special than other different genres. Do you guys feel as if there is more of an acceptance in the horror genre? Do you see the acceptance of females increasing in the horror genre, or vice versa?
Especially older women right now. I mean, it's really, you know, I'm working more now than I did before, and I'm working in more quality projects that are really challenging and fun and great. And I just think there's a natural cultural evolution. People put up with things until they don't. And then, you know, those social observations start to change. And I almost feel like it's a golden age for women.
Okay, so one last question because we're over time, and I'd like to each one of you in one sentence. One sentence. I know you guys can do it. What advice do you give females in the industry, young and old, advice if they want to be on camera, off camera? You give them advice in one sentence. What would it be?
Get in front of a camera, whether it's student films or go into your garage, whatever, pick up a camera. Acting, not directing too. You can do it now, and just get as much experience as you can in front of the camera.
Great. You just go down the line.
You are the company you keep, so keep good company.
Oh, the chills.
Yeah, I felt that too.
Everyone else got goosebumps on that one?
Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from bad judgment.
Nice. These are all amazing.
It's all a wash.
I'm writing a book on these quotes.
Embrace the moment.
I love it. And I appreciate this moment on stage with you guys so much. You guys are so phenomenal and so inspiring. And I hope that you guys keep inspiring more females to get involved and keep going in that horror community that we all love. Can we all hear it up for these amazing queens?
Here's the way we quench our thirst, quench our thirst, quench our thirst. Here's the way we quench our thirst. At the refreshment counter, now's the time to yum, 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 yum. Now's the time to yum, yum, yum. At the refreshment counter, popcorn, drinks, and candy too, candy too, candy too. Popcorn, drinks, and candy too. At the refreshment counter, at the refreshment counter, at the refreshment counter.
"13 years ago, audiences across America were horrified by the savagery of a faceless killer. In the wake of this bizarre rampage, he vanished. Now, after more than a decade of silence, he has come out of hiding. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The buzz is back. directed by Toby Hooper.
Cinema Insomnia now returns you to our feature presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I think as a horror fan, as a movie fan, as a fan of humor, as a fan of action, as a fan of thrills and spills, it is my unparalleled privilege to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Raimi. You almost made it. I know.
We're going to take about an hour till I get here. Get some lunch. Is everybody having a good time, first of all? Good. Good. Look at you guys all spread out. Do you think this is a movie? We're sitting, it's hilarious, you know, you put people in a movie theater, we're like, I like that seat because then it looks more like a TV screen. I like that seat because then it looks like I'm in a movie. No, there's just two people here.
They're going to be making out like at the very, by the end of this panel, I think. I think that's why they're sitting way in the back.
I couldn't speculate. I don't know why you're asking me.
Well, now, when I was a kid, I liked to sit way up front. I don't know why, but when I was 10 years old, I wanted to see every movie from the center, very front, and I feel like I missed like half the movie because I was just breaking my neck.
That's right, me too.
Did you do the same thing?
Sure, you're at a movie theater, you want to see it like a movie.
Did you go to see movies with your brother?
Did I go to see movies what?
With your brother. Did you do
Did
it
I
like
go
this?
to see, well,
yeah.
Yes, when I was very young, we
yeah,
go
of
see
course.
together, sure.
I mean, is that where you got your inspiration? I'm trying to bring it back to an interview.
Oh, you want to know when, oh yes,
yeah,
well.
Watching movies as a kid with your brother, right?
No, I got moved, no, I started liking movies through my mother, who loved to act. She was an actor when she was younger, and then became a housewife and then business mogul all on her own. But my mother loved movies so much that sometimes she would say to me in elementary school, she'd go, "You want to stay home and watch a movie with me?" Like from school, be like, yeah. And then that happened in junior high school and high school. But it wasn't kind of a screw around day. It wasn't like, hey, let's skip school and be deviant. For you, it was more like, okay, now this one is Tyrone Power, 1951, towards the end of his career. It's a Warner Brothers picture, which is unusual for Ty Power, and it would go on like that. So it was more like an education.
Wow, so it's like film school.
It was like a little mini film school. Yeah, my mother knew a lot about old Hollywood, you know, because she was a little girl and was fond. She was fond of it, but she wanted to be in the movies, but couldn't be. And yeah, I would do that quite a bit with my mother, you know. So no, she really got me into it. I didn't start watching horror. I started with just drama. I started with Noel Coward movies, and I've watched the old Warner gangster pictures and the social justice movies of the 30s and 40s. Those were very interesting to me. I love the musicals of the 50s. Most movies made from 1957 to like 1965 suck. And I tried watching like most all of them. They basically all suck. I found really few that were. It's bizarre that like for 7
Hollywood was
years.
in a weird place at that period.
It just sucked. Yeah.
That was the place.
It was a sucky place. But yeah, so I would do that. And anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how I started.
At what point did you just was making movies like, you know, were you making backyard movies, 8mm backyard movies? I mean, what kind of...
No, I didn't. I took a very different path, and first of all, I wasn't making films.
Yeah.
Really, I was just being an actor. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a directionless teenager. At 15, 16, I took every crappy summer job there was. I was a busboy, I was a dishwasher, and the worst job was a golf caddy.
Oh boy.
That was crappy because you just get yelled at all day by like super rich guys smoking cigars. It sucked. And, and so that was rough. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. Thought about being a cop, took pre-law, changed my mind, thought about joining the Army to fly Apache helicopters until the recruiting officer said I wore glasses. He was like, yeah, like helicopter pilots don't wear glasses, so no, you're not doing that. And then I went to New York City at 17 to be an actor. But it was only after I had done some acting work. And I didn't do it because I loved acting. I took that, I went to acting school because I thought I could make a living at it. It was that boring. Most actors have this deal where they're like, I have to act, gotta do it, gotta get to LA no matter what it costs. I was like, I'm gonna go to New York, and if I can make a living at this, that'll be good. That was my only goal, and I found I could, you know. And then I moved to LA to, you know, make a living further there. But I never had that thing that most actors have. You know, I didn't share that at that age. I grew to love it, but at first it was no different. It was like a very super duper easy version of washing dishes. Because I remember getting my first acting check when I was 16 years old. I was doing an industrial film in Detroit where I grew up. And that check was worth, for a half day of work, 2 weeks of washing dishes. I was like, I am never washing another dish as long as I live. Not that.
What was that film in
Demented
the 90s
cops.
where you're stalking Tracy Lords from the mid-90s? Is that Skinner? Or
Skinner.
something like that? Yeah. You were pretty terrifying in that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was an interesting movie. Yeah, that was a fascinating movie to make because the guy that made that, his name was Ivan Naj. He directed that. He directed some other really interesting little indie movies and created some TV shows. Anyway, he was a good director and pretty nice guy. But we found out that he, after the movie was done, first of all, the money came from really dubious sources. We're like, where's this being funded by? Like, no one could figure it out. We never met the investors. It was weird. And then we found, after the movie had finished shooting and was in editing, for those of you old enough to remember, you remember the Heidi Fleiss scandal? So for those of not old enough, Heidi Fleiss was a Hollywood madam who had one of the largest prostitution rings in Los Angeles. And Ivan Naj was kind of her partner. So in the movie, typically when you make a movie, you're a young buck or young gal coming up in the business, and you want to ask as an extra, you want to ask the stars, like how they got there, right? How'd you get this part? Like, who's your agent? Like, how'd you get this audition? Fascinating, you want to know. But the extras in Skinner never came up to me and asked me, ever. They were all playing hookers, right, that I killed. None of them were asking me. I'm like, this is weird. You know, maybe they're professional models, I thought. I guess they already got their career set. I don't know, I mean, I'd be asking. So we only found out that they actually were hookers later, you know.
Okay, now let's have this again. You say you were driving along without your lights?
Well, yes, sir, but that didn't have anything to do with it. See, he just suddenly appeared.
Suddenly appeared?
From out of the dark.
We were really scared, man. I'm glad you guys came along.
Yeah, I'll bet you are. Doc, over here. Now, kids, before I take you down to headquarters, I want you to do something for me, okay?
Sure.
See this nice little balloon? Well, I want you to blow it up.
A balloon?
Mm-hmm.
What for? We're going to have a party?
Never mind, just blow.
Hey, come on, look, we're wasting time now. Aren't you going to do anything about the spaceman? It may be a whole invasion.
Blow, I said.
Man says blow, he means it.
The balloon test, eh?
Yeah. Did you ever hear such a cock and bull story? Spacemen, spaceships. Wow.
In my days, we were content with pink elephants, but kids these days...
And Tough, the gal says to me, you don't call him human, do you? What do you think about that?
Well, what can you expect with all these bad books being written nowadays?
Hey, Mr. Detective. I'm finished. Now, can we get going, or shall I throw a little confetti around for you?
You know, fella, for someone who's committed a serious crime, you are very anxious to get to the police station.
A serious crime?
You call killing one of those monsters a crime? Something's weird around here.
Mm-hmm. Something or somebody. Come on, let's go. Now, if you'll just read this before you sign it.
Look, this is silly. We told you what happened. Now, why don't you do something?
That's exactly what we're doing, miss.
This is not a statement. It's a confession.
Now, look, you admit driving the car, don't you?
I told you that.
And with the lights off?
Right, but that
Now look, buddy boy, whether you realize it or not, driving without your lights and killing a man is against the law in this state.
Killing a man? You don't call that thing a man, do you?
And I haven't even added in drunk driving yet. But when we get the balloon test back, that's another strike against you.
Look, officer, my father's city attorney, and I demand that you send for him right away.
I was waiting for that. Well, miss, it so happens that I know your father, and he's already been sent for.
He'll straighten you out all right.
Look, I'm not saying another word. Now, you want to try to beat it out of me, you go ahead.
Beat it out of you. It never fails. Try to be nice to a young punk, and next thing you know, you're up on charges of using the 3rd degree. What's this about the 3rd degree?
Oh, Daddy, these people are crazy. Stan and I have had a horrible time.
Thought you told me you were going out with Bill Moore. Not with this roughneck.
But don't you want to hear about the monsters?
I heard that ridiculous story when the sergeant called. Now listen to me, Susan. If it's humanly possible, I'll get you out of this mess. As for this boy, he can take his medicine.
Thanks a lot.
They're ready for the identification, sir. We'll be right over. If you'll come with me, we'll make the formal identification.
Look, Mr. Rogers, wait till you see this thing, and then maybe you'll believe us. I didn't run over this man. I ran over a monster.
Are you still on that kick? You see, Mr. Rogers, I didn't exaggerate.
Look, Mr. Rogers, sir, I swear, I'm telling the truth. It was a spaceman.
I've heard enough of that.
I saw it.
You know who he is? Well, according to a driver's license we found on him, his name is Carl Fenton. We also found out he lives at 121 Maple Avenue.
Where does he work?
Well, as far as we could discover, he doesn't. He and a friend of his kind of just drifted into town about a month ago.
A friend?
Yeah, a fella he was living with. We tried to call him to come down and identify the body, but well, we didn't get an answer.
I see. Can I talk to them alone for a moment?
You mean here, sir?
At your office.
All right.
Not to focus on a small role, but I remember being excited when I was watching Twin Peaks and seeing you trapped inside of a pond at the hands of Wyndham Earle. That was how do you, does David Lynch just give you a call and say, hey, I want you to be in a pond, giant pond? I mean, how does that happen?
Yep, that's exactly how it worked. No, not at all. No, I got that just auditioning, good old-fashioned audition. Though it was weird, sometimes things you think will play against you or work for you, I suppose. So I remember the day I read for that, I had just read for this teacher in this commercial for apple juice. It was an apple juice, like a Mott's apple juice commercial. I was reading for it. And I had on this, I had on a corduroy jacket with elbow patches. So I was trying to look older than I was. At that time, I was like 20, 21 or something. At 22 maybe.
So around 1990 or something?
Yeah. And yeah, so about 20, 21. Anyway, so I went in and I had to get a payphone because they didn't have cell phones in those days. So I dialed my agent and I was like, hi, okay, finish that audition. Anything else today? They're like, yeah. we got an audition for you all the way across town in Santa Monica, which was like an hour-and-a-half drive, for Twin Peaks, you know, because I'd heard about it. It was kind of a hip show, but it wasn't like the cult thing you know now. And I was like, that sounds cool. I go, you know, and they go, what's the part? They go, you're playing a punk rock kid. I go, okay, I don't have time to go home. And even if I did, to go home to change, I don't have anything like that. I don't need leather jackets. I don't have leather pants. I don't have tattoos. I don't have earrings. Like, I'm wearing a corduroy jacket and a like a tan shirt. I'm like, what? Okay. They're like, just go. I'm like, fine. I was like, this is the biggest waste of an afternoon of my life. Thinking, I got in my car, drove all the way to Santa Monica. I was late by like 15 minutes. I walk in, there's rows of kids my age, but like real mohawks. Oh. You know, tats all over their faces. You know, nose rings, earrings, you know, they got mutton chops, you know, they're just badass. I'm like, oh, well, this is gonna go really well. I'm supposed to be that. I was like, all right, and the casting director came out, she's like, Ted, you ready? I was like, I wasn't, but I was like, fuck it, what's the difference? I'm not gonna get this part. I walked in and I read in my corduroy jacket, and I remember David Lynch was there and he laughed. He was like, he just laughed the whole time. I'm like, I didn't know if he was laughing at me or that I just was reading so badly. I didn't know what it was. I left, and then they called me and said I got it. And the reason I got the part partly was because I like to think it was also my read, which was hopefully good. But in season 3, which was never made, Wyndham Earle, the bad guy, for those of you, how many Twin Peaks fans out there? Are there a lot of them? Yeah. So what was going to happen in season 3 is Wyndham Earle, the bad guy, was going to turn me into, turn Rusty into a square college kid under his command. He's going to bring me back from the dead and turn me into this really like normal college kid who was then going to infiltrate Twin Peaks and ultimately get the agents.
Yeah.
But while they had written the first episode of the 3rd season, they had never made it. And so that's what he was thinking when he saw me in that corduroy jacket. He saw I could do both things. I think that's why I got the part finally. But
well, the line I keep thinking is something like, you promised me beer, man, or something like that. I just remember like laughing. I mean, for a character with so few lines, I just felt like the comedic note of it really hit. So I guess why I always think of you as being associated with comedies, because a lot of times when I see you, a lot of the things that resonate with me is you make me laugh.
Well, that's good.
Silence. How similar or dissimilar are you to the character in Ash versus the Evil Dead? Or would you make us all a pink if we wanted to drink?
No, it's highly illegal. I would not do that. No.
Is that something?
Police would be here if I had made an announcement.
And may I ask if that's something that you would or have or could have ever consumed?
No.
Okay.
You cannot ask that question.
Fair enough.
It's probably being recorded somewhere. I don't really know.
Okay. So it's bad and no one should ever drink that.
Yeah, it's very bad. No one should ever drink it.
And what's the recipe?
Unless you really want to try it. Yeah. You're an adult. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It is against the law, but...
What's the recipe? It's ketamine, which is cat tranquilizer.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a real drink, first of all. It was kind of invented by medical students with too much time on their hands.
Like most things.
First of all, pink is a drink made, its active, psychoactive ingredient is ketamine, which is typically a oral drug given to post-surgical patients who are able to take things orally naturally for pain relief. However, if you take it in very small doses, the ketamine does not act as an intense overall pain reliever, but rather a psychoactive substance that gives you a rather spaced out kind of euphoric high, apparently.
Apparently, supposedly, allegedly.
So they say. And so if you take small amounts of this ketamine, which is readily available to medical students, you put it in glasses, you mix all kinds of sweet crap with it because it tastes like hell, apparently. And you drink this stuff. And that's what that is. And they would call it a pink.
Well, thank you for
It's a real
entertaining.
deal.
Thank you for entertaining such a ridiculous question, and thank you for entertaining all of us and sharing a little bit of yourself. Thank you for showing us a little bit of yourself besides what we get to see glimpses of on the screen, and I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you. Big hand for Ted Raimi.
Can I tell you a little story about myself? I don't know if you ever met my father. Anyway, when my mother died, he insisted on doing my mother's post-mortem. Why? I don't know. I remember it like it was happening yesterday. And he said, he had a smile on his face, "I want you to watch this, son." And he reached over and he pulled my mother's face up. Just pulled it right off. I was pretty sick to my stomach, as you can imagine. I mean, I was 6 years old. What did he expect? Just like fathers.
This is no horror movie. It's a love story.
Anybody that don't come out of their apartment for 6 months got to be crazy.
Hank has a few problems. Nancy's got troubles all her own. His are imaginary spiders, psycho rap musicians, and big, long needles. Hers are a little more real. It was truly love at first sight.
This is hell now, right?
No, the tinfoil keeps the heat out.
Only no one told Nancy. So with a little tinfoil and a whole lot of courage,
I've got to get her back.
Hank's gonna tackle the real world. Lunatics, a crazy kind of love story, starring Theodore Raimi and Deborah Foreman.
Welcome back. And now it's time for our lucky Reel 7 girl, the girl chosen by you, our loyal viewers out there, to introduce the next reel of tonight's feature and hopefully boost ratings with males 18 to 28 in the last part of our program. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of our colleagues here at Cinema Insomnia and a scream queen in her own right, and a reviewer on Hack the Movies that you may find on your Yoo-Hoo tubes, Crystal Quinn.
Hi everyone. So, Cinema Insomnia.
That's okay. Let me panel with you for just a second.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
All right.
So how have you been?
I've actually been really, really fantastic.
You did a great job last night at the panel.
Thank you.
Crystal hosted, or helped me host, the Women in Horror panel here at Creature Feature Weekend.
Yes.
And it turned out really well. Was that your first panel that you've ever did?
That was actually the first time I ever moderated any type of panel, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Being able to speak to these icons, and you don't get to speak to too many female icons that often, and it was just such a pleasure.
And who did we have there?
We had Caroline Williams.
Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
We had Eileen Dietz.
From The Exorcist.
Yes. We also had
Nancy Loomis.
Nancy Loomis Kyes, and last but not least, we had.
You've got this.
I got this. It's been a long day, guys. A long day and night.
Kathleen Kinmont.
Kathleen Kinmont. Yes.
From Halloween 4.
Yes.
The Return of Michael Myers.
The Return of Michael Myers.
And man, oh man, it was. I'm so glad that I had you do it because you asked questions that I would not. It would have been a horror host mansplaining women in horror, and it would have been a horror story all of its own. It was wonderful to have you come in there and do such a great job.
I really, really enjoyed it, and the questions I got to ask are really questions I wanted to know.
So now that you have the crown of the real Seven Girl, how are you going to use that power for your next phase in world domination?
Keep dominating. I'm not going to stop dominating until the word world burns.
Wow.
My pleasure.
Wow. Okay. Well, that being said, would you like to introduce the next reel of tonight's feature?
I would love to do that.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go for it.
Well, to all my creepers out there, I would love to have Cinema Insomnia presents the next Reel 7 of tonight's feature.
Look at that way.
Get this, both of you. You're lucky in one respect. The man you killed is a nobody. There's only one person who's interested in the charges against you, and that's his roommate.
But, Daddy, I swear to you, Stan didn't kill anything that was...
Quiet, Susan. At least Stan has the sense to listen. Now, tomorrow I'll go over and talk to this Carl Fenton's roommate and see what we can do to help Stan. Come on, Susan, I'm taking you home.
I won't go unless Stan goes.
Don't be foolish, you're not liable.
Yes, I am. Stan's lying. I was driving that car.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
You've covered for me long enough.
How much longer, man? We've got a deadline to make.
We've almost got it. Hey, look at that. Looks like some kind of fuse.
What the?
Looks like there's been some kind of explosion over near the Bailey place.
Okay, let's go. What was that?
Something blew up.
What do you suppose that was?
I could care less. You know something, those things, whatever they are, they're smarter than all of us put together.
What do you mean?
Remember when we saw them banging away at the fender of our car?
What's so smart about that?
Don't you see? They killed that man. And then they dented the fender of my car to make it look like we did it. It's a frame-up.
And we thought they were mad at the car.
Right. Honey, somehow we've got to go back out there and get something, some kind of evidence that they'll believe, because if we don't, I'm going to jail.
But how? They won't let us.
I know it. Get it?
What are we waiting for?
Whatever it was, it sure burned itself out in a hurry. Let's get up. Power car out there right away.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about those two kids? I've talked a little sense into their heads. It just takes a little teenage psychology. They're gone. Little fools. Forget it. So you talked some teenage sense into them, did you? Look, officer, they were scared to death. Don't put this in the record. I'll take the full responsibility.
You still here?
Well, of course I'm here. Where should I be?
I saw your car drive off, so naturally I assumed...
Oh, no. If those kids have stolen my car, Now, Mr. Rogers, you said you'd be responsible. I hope you know what you're doing. So do I. So do I.
Now, Corporal, if you'd have been looking at your radar instead of that scanner, we wouldn't have let that spaceship slip by us.
I'm looking.
It's too late.
It is kind of late. I wonder if they forgot about us.
Just look at the scope.
But not too late for that date in town. Okay. I'm looking. But it's kind of dull, though. Blip, blip, blip.
Yeah, blip, blip, blip.
Hey, I should snap on the infrared and take a peek at them kids naked.
And get us court-martialed, you mean?
Okay. Blip, 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 blip.
Snap on the infrared. We'll just take a peek at those kids in the line of business.
What else?
What do you make of it?
I think I have some weird monster film on TV. Nothing as ugly as that could be for real.
Oh, no. Have you looked in your mirror lately?
Funny, ha, ha, ha. But it must be near the end of the picture.
How can you tell?
Well, that searchlight swung by, right?
Right.
Well, that stupid monster's beginning to stumble. I'll bet you $5 he falls right off that cliff.
Have you seen this picture before?
Scout's honor. No.
You've got yourself a bet.
No, watch.
I still think you saw that picture before. Snap on a scope before you cost me some more money.
Can do, Sergeant. Can do. Blip, 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 blip.
Oh, shut up.
This is Mr. Lobo, and I'm here with Sean from the VHS Preservation Society. What is the VHS Preservation Society?
So the VHS Preservation Society, VHSPS for short, is basically a recreation and continuation of the glorious golden era of the video store. We preserve the classics on lost, dead media, things people have forgotten about, maybe things people saw once, looked at the cover when they were a kid, want to reconnect with it or maybe see it for the first time. There's a whole generation of people that never even got to go to a video store, and now they can. I call it a mom and pop-up video store because we travel
and pop-up, yes. I like that.
We travel around the country and set this pop-up thing up all over.
Well, it's exciting because you walk around and you see these lovely red racks with all of these videos, and there's a lot of exciting titles, things that are just fuzzy memories that are exciting to see them. And these movies are probably chosen by the fact that they're not available.
Correct,
right?
Correct. You cannot go into a Walmart and dig through that $5 bin. You cannot go onto Amazon. You cannot, that's one of our stars. You cannot go anywhere and find some of these classic gems.
Could you show me a couple of them?
I certainly can. We have a few right here.
Okay.
We have The Big Crime Wave.
Oh, I love this movie. John Pay's film.
Yes. Very, very psychotronic, very strange, and very wonderful.
Yeah, it certainly is.
We have The Big Meat Eater.
Oh, Big Meat Eater. I don't think I know this one.
So you should eventually know this one because this is my favorite Canadian sci-fi horror musical that basically takes itself seriously so that you don't have to. But you can enjoy this movie. It's impossible not to.
Wow, that's exciting. You have one more for us?
We have Plan 10 from outer space.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Well, if Plan 9 wasn't good enough, they went one step over and decided to take one more stab at that plan and do number 10. It has nothing to do with the original. Karen Black is in it. It was made in Salt Lake City, and it's attached to Mormonism.
It's kind of a spoof on Mormonism, right?
It is, yes, and
wow.
It's very much worth your time.
That sounds awesome. You know what? There's so much to look at here. Why don't we go to a commercial break? I want to look around and see if I can grab a couple of videos for myself.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back with more Cinema Insomnia and the VHS Preservation Society right after this.
made it.
That's the beginning to one of Stephen Penny's unfinished versions of Crime Wave.
I'm sorry, I really am.
And we're back with more Cinema Insomnia. I have been, during the break, I was digging through the lovely, lovely, lovely shelves and shelves and shelves of videos they have here. And I found a couple of favorites. This is my New Year's tradition. Every year, Get Crazy. It's one of those movies that was made as a tax dodge. And the person who made it made the film Rock and Roll High School. And it had a lot of his personal experience of working with the Fillmore that he built into the movie. And so for him, it was a passion project, but for the investors, it was a way to dump a bunch of money. And so this movie never really got a good release. Hardly anybody saw it, but it is like the airplane of rock music, and it is hilarious.
I'd say that's a great description. And what better night than New Year's Eve to get crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it does take place New Year's Eve 1983 is the framework of it.
Fantastic.
And then this movie I picked out because it has our good friend Vernon Wells, who we just saw at the top of the show. Oh, come on through. We're not professionals. Go right ahead. No problem. It has Vernon Wells in it, and it is Circuitry Man, and I just kind of have a fuzzy memory of this movie. Could you tell me a little bit about Circuitry Man?
I can tell you a little bit about this movie. Who doesn't love a good sci-fi, action, post-apocalyptic, computer-generated, crazy brain horror movie, right? And I think I should leave it at that and let you discover it for yourself.
Wow, well that sounds a lot better than what we have going on tonight on Cinema Insomnia. Why don't we look at the movie we have going on tonight?
All right.
And maybe we'll come back one more time with the VHS Preservation Society. Okay, this way, right here.
All right.
worried about taking this car.
Compared to everything else, a little car theft isn't going to matter.
See anything, honey?
Not a thing. Hey, don't get too far away. I'm frightened.
Don't be afraid. We can handle this.
We, dear friend, you are Supreme Commander in charge of that department. This is silly. The police were all over here and they didn't find anything.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We might as well go on back. Unless this whole thing is a dream, which is a polite word for nightmare. Come on.
What is this, a reflex action?
Just seems like the natural thing to do out here.
Hey, I wonder if any of the gang saw those things.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of them out here. And if any of them saw it, that would convince the police that we're telling the truth.
You want to bet? If the police saw it, they'd say we'd been drinking. You know something? Sometimes I think, no matter how many kids try to tell the police something, they still wouldn't believe it.
Oh, Stan, take me away from here, please, please.
Hey, don't you see? At last we've got some evidence.
Oh, needs it. And how are we going to get it to the police station?
We'll just have to get somebody to come down here and see it, that's all.
But who?
Hey, remember what your father said? At the police station, he was right about one thing. The one person who'd be interested enough to listen to us is Carl's roommate. We just gotta find him.
But where is he?
Wait a minute. 121 Maple Street. That's it. We'll go over there and get him. Okay? Okay. Come on.
That is, without a doubt, the craziest story I've ever heard.
Look, will you just call and check with the police?
They've been trying to get you all night, but nobody answered.
Yeah, thanks to these. When you live with a big mouth like Carl, you gotta have a secret weapon.
Oh, please call the police, please.
Come on.
Okay, but if this is some kind of a joke...
Whatever you say, don't mention our names.
If they find out we're here, we're done for.
Don't worry. Hello, operator? Get me to the police station. Hello, police? This is Mike Lawrence. I live at 121 Maple with my roommate, Carl Fenton.
Did you say Carl Fenton? We've been trying to get a hold of you. Your roommate was killed tonight. A hit-and-run victim.
Killed? Do you know who did it?
Yeah, there were two kids, a boy and a girl. They've given us a slip, temporarily, but don't worry. We'll catch them again.
You mean you had them and they got away? I've been living in a fool's paradise. I thought the police were alert.
Yeah. And were they scared? You should have heard the stories they told. All about little spacemen and...
I have.
You have what?
Oh, nothing.
Never mind. Thanks a lot, officer. Thanks.
Can you come down tomorrow and claim the body?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Well, we telling you the truth? Your story checks out. Carl tried to tell me something about it.
Now will you come with us?
I'm a nut. Yes. Give me a chance to get dressed. Now, I'm not saying there is a claw, mind you. But if there is one, I'm going to get a picture of it. Hey, great. It's a hot one.
What's so funny?
I'm just thinking how Carl will feel when I put him on exhibition as the world's first victim of a spaceman. Well, let's get going.
Wow. Wow. Well, that was okay.
Yeah.
But it's not as cool as some of the stuff that we've been finding here on the shelves at the VHS Preservation Society. You see them, if you go to conventions, they're there. So keep an extra eye out for the red shelves and the all the finery that is associated with a video store. And if you see those letters VHSPS, come right on in and browse. It's a lovely experience. I found a couple of favorites. This is a movie by Diane Keaton called Heaven, and I remember seeing it, just renting it actually, and making a copy of it years and years ago on VHS, and I don't think I've seen it since.
And I don't think most people have seen it since, which is why we like to put that into our video store. It's a documentary on what happens after we depart our earthly beings. Do we go up? Do we go down? Do we wind up in the middle? You'll find out in this documentary.
That's a good description, and it's got a lot of great archival footage in it.
Yes.
And it's all black and white.
It is.
And it's a little bit of a little dark.
It is a little dark. Put it on late at night. Put some mood lighting on. Maybe burn a little incense. Whatever your go-to repertoire is.
And keep a phone handy in case you get too depressed.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So that's one. This one here we mention on the show a lot. It's directed by one of my heroes, Ray Dennis Steckler. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies in color. This movie is, I associate very strongly with Cinema Insomnia. Even though we've never hosted it, we show the trailer to this film all the time. And if you can't believe the title, you're not going to believe this movie. This is an insane movie from beginning to end. I asked Ray Dennis Steckler, I interviewed him on this program, and I said, how did you direct this movie, Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies? And he said, I didn't direct that movie. I was having an adventure. He said, everybody was with me. That's so rare, where everyone is with you. And when you have that moment, when everyone's with you, you just have to go and create and make whatever that thing is. So that's what this is. I would highly recommend it. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
Can you give the folks at home your information so they can find you and find your wonderful, wonderful project?
Absolutely. If you don't see me in person at a convention near you, you can find us at VHSPS.com. That's a VHS, like a VHS tape. PS for Preservation Society. If you're on social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram. You can message us anywhere. We can find your movie. If you have a long lost request, you can only remember one scene, one line, some sort of a subject, email us. Message us on Facebook, Instagram. We will find your film and we will bring it back to you where it belongs.
For the low, low price of what, $10?
It's just $10. If you see me in person, it's $10. Online, little bit of shipping, but cheap price compared to anything else. You can't find this stuff anywhere.
$9.99 plus 1 penny.
That's right.
The VHS Preservation Society. Well, that kind of sounds like a commercial, so maybe we should go out to a commercial.
All right.
And thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lobo.
Signing off.
I won't have to worry about getting fat anymore. I can eat all I want.
Well, I'll be like Burt Reynolds or any other star.
I want to go to heaven. I'm ready to go anytime. See you in heaven.
Hey!
The feeling I have when I hear a touching prayer.
Look, then run for your life. Incredible is the word for the world's first monster musical. See in magnificent Eastman color the daring, dancing, enticing, and horrifying. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed-up zombies. From the innocence of music and laughter comes the twilight of terror. Along the midway, scantily clad dancers luring the young lovers into the sideshows.
She gets her shit out of shape.
See the dancing girls of the carnival murdered by the incredible night creatures of the midway.
I only know that something evil lies ahead for me.
An unspeakable pit of dismal subhuman monsters who drool and gibber, moaning for the thrill of revenge. Incredible are the songs, the gaiety, the zombie stomp of those who will stop living. And then the mix-up, trickery, and the device to ruin. See the hunchback of the midway fight a duel of death with the mixed-up zombies, turning men into monsters, twisted, tormented human vultures, yearning to kill. Incredible creatures clutching at the thin thread with their miserable lives. Human vultures, only the weird zombies remain.
Obey.
Who is the woman branded in birth wearing the wart of horror?
Do as Madame Estrella said.
The world's first monster musical. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed-up zombies.
Thought you said the police had your car. They do. This is Susan's. Battery's going dead. When's the last time you got some water?
Whenever the filling station man asked me.
Not the radiator. He means the battery water.
What's that?
How about a little push? I'm a guest here, remember? Okay. Come on. I like this. No top, no motor, but a brand new shiny spotlight. Somebody afraid of the dark?
Oh, I didn't get it for that.
What did you get it for?
Well, the crone makes an excellent mirror.
Well, at least she's got muscle. No brains, but muscle. Pile of junk.
Please watch your language. Elvis is very sensitive.
Elvis? Yeah, the gang calls her Elvis. She shakes and shimmies a lot, but she can really go.
What's going on here?
It's all right, Sergeant. One of our jets crashed.
26. Got a signal.
Yeah, had a busy night, too. Been flooded with calls from people who say they've seen flying saucers and little spacemen.
27.
Wonder how that rumor ever got started.
Now you got me, Sarge.
43 Irving Boulevard.
Well, good night.
Night, Sergeant.
Well, did you get rid of them? Just can't stand fuzz.
Fuzz?
Well, that's what my nephew calls them. That kid has me brainwashed.
Yes, sir. I gave him a story that one of our jet planes crashed and that we were taking care of everything.
Did he believe you?
Colonel, sir, you are talking to the man who made the papers believe 45-year-old B-girls were teenage maidens. This was duck soup. Did you find any signs of life, sir? Anything, I mean, besides the fuzz.
Whatever flew that thing down here went up in smoke. Nothing left but ashes.
Job well done, sir.
Makes you proud, doesn't it?
Clean all over, sir.
That's the ticket. Being a part of a show like this, protecting your country from alien invaders. Think of it. Nobody but this special unit and the President of the United States know what really happened here tonight.
You mean you think we know what happened?
Well, of course we do. I think.
This top secret security business is like scratching, Colonel. Once you get started, it's hard to stop.
Just what are you getting at, Lieutenant? Spit it out.
Colonel, did it ever occur to you that there might be other things being hushed up by other units just like ours?
You're not dreaming, you're watching Cinema Insomnia. And I'm here with a helicopter zombie, Jim Krut. From Dawn of the Dead, one of the great all-time classic zombie movies of all time. Yes. I could hear that creepy music pumping.
You want to show a photo of what it looks like?
Yes, absolutely. This is the photo. I don't know if you can see this. This is the photo of Jim as the helicopter zombie. When people think of you, they think of this moment.
Yes. They say, have you done anything else? And I said, never. That's the only thing I've ever done in my entire life.
I planned everything up to that moment, and then after that, I
took the rest of my life off. I said, this box of movies over here, forget about it.
Yeah,
just because I'm in it means nothing.
Means nothing.
Been about
Absolutely.
25 other films.
Obviously, you're an actor. You were an actor before the helicopter zombie.
Yes.
You will have been an actor after the helicopter zombie.
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking, how did you become the helicopter zombie?
Well, I got hit by a helicopter. Come on.
Okay.
Snakes on a plane. What's
there
that
it
about?
is. Yeah, exactly.
Well, in truth, I'd gone to college in Pittsburgh with Tom Savini, and we also worked in theater at college. And after college, we both went off to the Army in Vietnam. He was a combat photographer. I was a combat medic. We ended up, after a couple of years, back in Pittsburgh, where I encountered Tom again. And since I'd worked with Tom, he knew what I could do. I was working in theater at the time, and Tom said, I've got this great role for you in this George Romero movie. The only thing I knew about George Romero was Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
And that had been, we're looking at 10 years earlier, but still, it's a film that once you see, you don't really forget. And you think about the gore parts, and you think about,
this kind of movie had a very different rep back in those days.
Yes, it did. It's like being in porn or something where, oh man, we don't want you. You did that movie.
We don't want the neighbors to know about
this.
We're
keeping that under wraps.
Yeah.
And but what did I care? I'd been through a war.
That's right. You've been through Vietnam. What is this movie going to do to you?
Yeah. And so you look at things a little differently. But I was working in theater. And I said, I think it'd be a lot of fun. And you have to trust the people you work with. And I trusted Tom. And even in college, he was an extremely creative person.
Well, importantly, Tom trusted you because this is someone who's going to have to spend a lot of time with applying this makeup to. Right?
Yeah, he did the head castings in his basement. He said, "Well, that's the first thing. It's not like just show up on set and we'll do things."
Yeah.
I have a little illustration here.
Oh man, this is Show and Tell with Jim Krut here.
This is from Tom's book. It was called The Zorro at the time. Now I think it's been rebranded as Grand Illusions.
Grand Illusions, yes.
And in this illustration, we have Tom doing the head cast on me. This was a complete head cast. I had to do a half at a time. And that meant covering the face with alginate to pick up the details, covering that with plaster to hold the alginate. And all that time, you're breathing through a straw for, let's say, half an hour, 40 minutes. Well, Tom called about 2-3 days later, said, "Jim, we have a little problem. The plaster cracked. We have to do it all over again."
Oh, gosh. Wow.
What's the word? Claustrophobic. CLA.
Oh, boy. So you've got this thing over your face you can't see, right?
Right.
You can't see. You're only breathing through a tiny straw, and it has to sit for hours, right?
Well, it had to sit for at least half an hour.
Half an hour, okay.
Until it hardened enough to take it off.
Okay.
So, well, at least we did that. So when we got to the set, it took maybe an hour or two with the makeup application to blend any of the prosthetics that he created in his workshop after he did that bust.
Yeah.
So on set then, they connected the blood tubes. And what we have, if you'll allow me.
Another illustration. Mm-hmm.
I'll show you this illustration again.
Okay, this is
So that's me on top of the boxes where, as a zombie, I've walked up. And I happen to be walking under a helicopter blade where someone is refueling the helicopter, and by mistake, that's him, and that's me, and he's okay. I'm getting the top of my head whacked off by the helicopter blade in rotation. In reality, what was taking place, that's the illusion. The reality is, in this situation, we have Tom and another person behind the boxes with tubes running up from hand pumps containing the artificial blood, connected to the tubes, up the back, connecting to the top of the head. And then on the top of the head is a piece that, if you think of it like a little pizza, like a single pan pizza or something.
Yes.
With cut into chunks and then threaded together with monofilament fishing line, so it's clear. And then off camera, someone with another long piece of monofilament line attached to that at the right cue gives a yank, and then these guys below the boxes start their pumping, and what you see is, with the pounding of the music and everything, vroom, you have this memorable scene. And a lot of people have asked, "Gee, were the helicopter blades running at the time?" I said, "Well, of course, that was my twin brother." my late twin brother.
So then that of course is cut into the film with everything else, and everyone sees in their mind, they're seeing that helicopter take the top of your head off.
You have it exactly, because everything is building up and people anticipate, and that's why I think that's one of the beauties of the scene. The viewer can anticipate, and they like to be smart enough to outguess what's going to take place on screen. I know what's going to happen next. And in some cases they did, some cases they weren't sure. But the amazing thing to me was the reaction in theaters when people would either applaud, or laugh, or go ah,
or gasp,
Yeah,
a lot
of gasping going on out there. Choking on popcorn, all that good stuff, spitting out the Coke,
well,
cola.
From what I understand, we are going to be in a theater together.
Yes.
Where we're going to do a demonstration of this very thing that you described. So I was thinking that maybe we could show that and then come back afterwards. What do you think about that?
You think that'd be a good idea?
Well, sorta. What do you think?
I think it'd be terrific.
Okay, let's do it.
Make it happen.
All right, we're going to make it happen. We'll see you inside the theater for a live demonstration of the 1978 helicopter zombie effect, and then we will be back later in the show to talk about the live version that we did together.
Announcing Vertibird, the new electric-powered copter with rotor blades that actually lift it into flight and precision controls that make you the Vertibird's pilot. Use your piloting skills to perform even difficult rescues. Hover into position. You've got him! The Vertibird, the copter it takes you to fly. The Vertibird electric copter comes with space capsule, landing pad, life craft, and astronaut from Mattel.
Night of total terror. Night of the living dead, the dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living whose bodies are the only food for these ungodly creatures. Night of the living dead. A bizarre adventure in fear. An experience in shock, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the living dead. A night with the dead who cannot die. A night of total terror. Night of the living dead.
Tonight will only be the third time that this makeup has ever been done. They did it once at the Monroeville celebration in Pittsburgh. So we're very, very, very excited to have Jim Krut from Dawn of the Dead, the original. And apparently his wife is here too, and she was there at the Savini workshop the first time he put into this. And you're down there already. I want to be down there too. I hate being up here.
Okay, hold on. I think I could. I think I could make it. Move the chair out of the way.
And there are the glasses.
Good job.
There it is. Here it is. Hello. So, Jim, this is exciting. I mean, first of all, how does something like this happen to where, hey, we're going to put this makeup on you at this convention? Was this an idea that was brought to the convention, or was this something that came to you?
When Craig asked me to be part of the convention, he said we'd like to try to do and recreate the makeup and special effects that went into your great scene for Dawn of the Dead. And I said, well, you know, it was done pretty well on screen the first time. And 2 years ago, we did it at the Monroeville Mall, but there was a most wonderful team from Tom Savini's school, including Jen Holleran and Jerry Gergley and a couple other folks. And I said, that's what I'm used to. You know, I don't want to see something that was an iconic scene just kind of, he said, wait a minute. He said, we're bringing them in.
Awesome. Wonderful.
So I said, I'm on board.
Excellent.
I'll do it.
Fantastic. Well, this is going to be very, very, very exciting, especially for fans of practical makeup and practical special effects, which is an art form.
Well, one of the things about Tom Savini is that he created a lot of techniques, used materials, because he had ideas in mind for how something should look, but maybe there wasn't a practical, easy way to do it. You had to make it happen. And, you know, I certainly applaud him for doing that. And he's got, you know, a staff like headed by Jerry here, that they've been bringing out a lot of talent in students for a number of years now, who have all been finding great places in the filmmaking and commercial industry. And I think that's just a testament to Tom's genius.
It is amazing because we have so few people behind the scenes that we know their names. You know, and Tom Savini is in that short list of people to where, you know, how many makeup artists do people know as behind the scenes, just as a brand name, you know? Very few get to break through at that level. So obviously you have to be doing something special to come that far.
Well, usually when a movie ends, bam, people get up and they start to walk out of the theater. And I've seen a lot of.
They don't read those words. They don't read all the names of all the people that worked on it.
And then at the end, there's this little, you know, Easter egg, this little cookie that, oh wow, here's how that happens.
Yeah.
So you see a whole nother swatch of film there, and that hopefully keeps more people in. But that's where you see the credits.
Yeah. It always kills me when I'm watching on streaming and they shrink it down and put it in a little box and queue up the next movie. It's like, I want to see the end of this movie. I paid for this movie. I want to watch all of it. And even the credits. And I do think we do need to start acknowledging, appreciating, honoring the artists, the men and women who, behind the scenes, who make the magic possible.
Absolutely.
Make the magic possible. And so this is going to take about an hour to do?
Roughly an hour, I understand. With that said,
very good.
And the time frame we're
Yes, we don't have a lot of time. I totally understand.
Are we ready to start the demo?
All right. Gentlemen, start your makeup.
And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here today, but also really for being a fan of films, of Dawn of the Dead, my scene, fine, but just thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Jim Krut, for being so generous with your time. The Helicopter Zombie from Dawn of the Dead.
I can't see anything.
It's in there. It's got to be.
Hey, wait a minute. I got an idea. I'll give you some light.
What was that?
That was it.
Mike, did you see it? I saw something. Whatever it is, it's on the floor. Look at that, Stan. I'd never believed it.
Seeing's believing.
Man, could I clean up with a dozen of those.
What could they do?
Play 6 pianos. Or 3 pianos and 3 drums. What a combo. We call them, the fingers.
You're pretty sick.
Oh, and I may be.
I gotta get a picture of this. Well, I'll be. If it lets you live.
It's gone.
But, well, I saw something. It was right there.
Look, come on, let's get him back to town. I mean, they've got to believe us now when Mike backs us up. They can't accuse him of being a hysterical kid.
Well, all right, come on. Let's get out of here.
Don't start getting excited now. You got to be absolutely calm when you call the police.
I'm glad you told me.
This darn car. Turn off the lights. It'll give you more juice. Good idea. They're in the bushes.
Stan, use the spotlight. Turn the spotlight on him.
Are you off your rocker? No, she's right. It burns them up like it did the claw.
Stan, remember the battery. You'd better cut the headlights. They don't do any good.
Now what'll we do? Spotlight's getting dimmer. The battery's getting big. Looks like we're goners. That's it! Let's make a run for it! Camera, flash button. Let's go. It's now or never.
Stan, I can't go another step. We've got to rest.
Okay, honey, all right. We should be safe here for a minute anyway.
Do you think they killed Mike?
I don't know. I saw him pick him up and carry him away.
Oh, we've got to get help. We've got to. We can't leave Mike to those creatures. Oh, what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
What if we turned ourselves in to the police?
What good would that do?
Well, don't you see? Once we get the police out here, we'll get them to help Mike some way.
Hey, I got an idea. Come on.
Where are we going?
To use Bailey's phone.
He won't let us. He'll shoot us.
I'll be charming. Come on.
Should the audience count it down? Can we? Or
We've got soundtrack for this, and the
oh, the soundtrack. Okay, I'll just let you guys have it. You already have your own.
The effect will kick in about 15 seconds after the start of audio. Seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, boy. You know, I was there with you, and I was fearful that I was going to get zombie brains on me somehow.
You want some glue? I'm still picking it out of my hair.
Yeah, you didn't get all of it.
No, I know.
Right
It's
there.
in there. It's
You
in
think
this-
someone would help? Would someone help Jim get all this stuff
I
out
had
of his
4
hair?
people taking the makeup off.
Oh,
as well as the 2 people
wow.
putting it
Wow.
on.
Now, who was the young lady who was helping you?
Okay, Jen Holleran, she's a graduate of Tom Savini's Makeup and Special Effects School.
Okay,
Tom Savini
so
is
Tom
the person-
Savini, who did this effect for you, he of course has his own school, and these were his students doing this reenactment of the effect.
Right, as well as Jerry Gergley, who is the, I guess he's the head of the school.
He's a teacher?
He's a teacher, and he also does makeup. And I like Jerry because I've also worked with him on other films where he did special effects.
It was interesting because he was kind of quiet, but then he was ready to come in with his knowledge and with his expertise as needed, which I think is very good for a teacher to kind of let the students work.
You are a marvelous smart job, man. No, it's true. It's very, very true.
So we put the plastic down. There were a couple, I love the group of people who moved from their, they were like right up front and they're like, okay, let's go move ourselves over here down a few rows.
It's just like a 20-foot sheet of plastic, right? And then, better get up and move out. Better get up.
And it was great to see you standing up and then the top of your head flying off. And honestly, I mean, what was really interesting is that, like, I was really caught up in it to where I really felt like I was there all over again, watching you do that 43 years ago? 43 years ago? No, I didn't mean to add 5 years to that. 43 years ago?
Years have not always been kind.
I thought you looked great. I thought you looked the same, to my view, as you did back then.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it's really fun creating it for the fans and helping them, as you say, go back to that period. But what you were saying about anticipation, we did ask them if they could bring in some of the music from that scene. Roger, watch out! You know, so that people, you know, they're that kind of audio cue brings people back into it. Then you have the visual. They know what's going to happen, but then it still has that impact, that punch.
Yes, absolutely. It still has that punch. I know you've worked on some other, let's look at your box here. What are some other projects that we can look at?
Well, this is Darkness Waits. It's a sequel to a film called Dead Woman's Hollow.
I had the filmmaker who filmed the makeup effect give me a copy of that.
Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And I had a fun role in this as a...
Maybe we could host it on Cinema Insomnia sometime.
I would definitely recommend it.
Okay.
They're a great filmmaking team, and that's who is actually filming the demo.
Now that makes sense. Now it all makes sense.
That's why she was wearing one of my helicopter zombie shirts, available for $19.99.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Let's take 2 of these.
Thanks, and tees and hoodies. What else do we have in the box?
All right, what else do we got in the box?
Oh, we have Remnants, which just came out last year. I had a lead role on that. And
excellent.
Supernatural thriller, kind of a killer. It's a killer of a movie.
A killer of a movie. Who would have thought?
And that was done, parts of that were done
Yes.
in Gettysburg. This was done a few years ago, Deadlands 2.
Deadlands 2, I know that one. I don't think
You're
I've seen it
familiar
yet.
with
I'm
that?
familiar with it, but it's on my list. It's on
It's
my
also,
list.
although I have them for sale, and
Mhm.
they are available for sale online,
Yes.
it's also available on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing for free.
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube.
Try before you buy.
It has over 1 million views.
Oh, wow.
But this has the special features, the interviews with the director,
And you get to support independent filmmakers.
that's really the crux of the biscuit, as they say.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
as I said, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anyone says
Whatever the
that,
heck
Jim.
that
Well, Jim, thank you so much for spending a little time with us.
It's been a real pleasure.
Sharing your experience. I love your enthusiasm after all these years, your humor, your willingness to share with.
I have to confess, I just
Yes.
had a root beer barrel, and it really gives me a lot of energy.
Well, I'm glad that we had no positive effect and that it
Yeah.
was all just a root beer barrel.
That's all.
It's like when a baby smiles and it's really just gas, right?
Yes. That's it.
Who's Leroy?
A local folklore. A mountain man living in caves along the trails. He walks in the shadows. Appalachia's version of the angel of death, except carrying a rifle instead of a scythe.
Oh my God, Jess! Where is this place?
Okay, it's not much further.
The big bad wolf is still out there, and you're acting like the mayor of Amity Island who won't close the beaches.
The big bad wolf isn't going anywhere. That's a fact.
Can anybody hear me?
Is on Dunham Hollow Road?
This is happening again.
Darkness. Darkness waits.
Bad scientist!
I've done it! It's dissect an alien, and it's...
Gross!
You take his insides out and put them back in. Too gross.
Yuck!
That's disgusting. He's a real slime bucket. Yuck! Dissect an alien. Watch for time freaks and more gross creations so you too can be a mad scientist. Too gross.
You're not dreaming. We're here with Kyra Schon. Is it Schon or Schon?
Schon.
Kyra Schon. I've been saying it wrong, and you've never corrected me all these years. You're such a sweet person for giving me such a break. I almost feel like you should just drag that trowel right into my chest.
Oh, but I packed it away, so you're off the hook. It's okay.
Oh, well, maybe next year.
Definitely next
Are you having a good time
I
this
am.
weekend?
I am.
Good, good. I'm glad we had a great talk earlier.
Yes, we did.
You know, this is, how many years has it been now since Night of the Living Dead?
Oh, I'm not good at math.
A lot.
It's been a lot.
A lot of years. And isn't it amazing that with all of the films, I think of the movies they spent millions of dollars on that were made in 1968 that are completely forgotten.
And they spent tens of dollars on Night of the Living Dead.
And your father did a lot of work on this
He
movie.
did,
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about Pop?
He did. Well, he was my father in the movie. He was Harry Cooper.
Mr. Cooper.
He was a co-producer along with Russ Striner, and he did sound and makeup and made coffee probably too. I don't know.
Did he take the photos that are in the movie?
He did a lot of the stills that.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's
that I
incredible.
have.
It's so funny because he's so hard and mean and stiff, and the establishment, the man, the guy down in the basement, and he's really the creative who's helping put the whole thing together.
Yeah,
That is a
he was
wonderful
very
thing.
creative, and and very funny. He was very funny.
What is the sweetest memory of making this movie for you?
I'm not sure, actually. It's been a long, long time.
I know you had a little crush on Wayne.
Yeah, I did have a big crush on Wayne. He was really wonderful.
He's a handsome guy.
He was a beautiful person, and I wish that I'd been able to meet him again, and be like more than 9 years old, it would have been nice to talk to him like now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sadly he's gone, long gone. So.
Yeah, and I know that he was, I think for him, the legacy of the movie was a mixed blessing for him, or at least that's how he perceived it, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think that he disliked, his sort of notoriety, but he was a working actor and he was a teacher, and, so he had other things going on that didn't need to focus on the past.
Well, and it's interesting because at the time this was thought of as kind of a B movie, grindhouse, drive-in fare. Now it's like revered. Like now it's like up there with the classic horror films of all time. But probably during that time it was if you were a working actor, sort of like you got your friends talking down to you and stuff like that, and it kind of puts it under a different perspective.
I think
right?
so.
And you are, he was a teacher, you're a teacher, right?
I retired, but yes, I taught for 25 years in the Pittsburgh Public Schools. I taught ceramics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at a creative and performing arts magnet.
I wish you were my ceramics teacher. My ceramics teacher was so mean. And
really?
And everything I made just didn't turn out very good. I made a little hobo shoe.
Oh.
That was a planter, so.
That sounds adorable.
But he wasn't very nice.
Do you still have it?
My mom has it. I think it's in her garden.
That's nice.
I'm glad you're having a great time. People really, people always appreciate you. You're literally the poster child for this movie.
I guess so.
I mean, it's probably one of the most memorable images associated with that film. I mean, do people just want to come and take a picture with you?
They do, yeah.
Do they want you to put your hair in front of your eye?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes when I have trowels on the table, I just pack them away, but I stab people with them.
Please stab me with this trowel. Oh my gosh. Well, Kyra, I'm sure we could talk another 17 hours, but I just love seeing you at every show, and I'm sure we'll just I hope we keep bumping into each other again and again.
We will.
And now we got to get back into this movie, which is not as good as that movie.
What's the movie?
We don't even know.
We don't know.
That's how pathetic it is. So we're going to go into it right now. Kyra, we're going to watch it right over here.
Right. Look, I'm trying to tell you, we want to give ourselves up if you'll just come out here to the Bailey place.
You're not wanted anymore. Go home and sleep it off.
But won't you come out here?
Please, don't bother me anymore. Just go home and sleep it off.
Great.
Trust Daddy. He came through again.
Yeah. Hey, how about the gang up at the hill?
Oh, no, not at a time like this.
Oh, don't be silly, honey. I mean, they'll still be there. Maybe they'll help us. At least they'll believe us.
What makes you think so?
Because they're not like our parents, and they won't think that we're drunk or nuts or something just because we're young.
Maybe you're right.
It's worth a try. Come on.
Nancy, we were attacked by weird creatures and they captured him.
And the police wouldn't believe us. Come on, I'll show you the way.
does it. Not a trace. Good night's work. Now we can get some sleep.
And read about the jet crash in tomorrow morning's paper. Oh, aren't we regular devils?
They were heading for this clearing where there used to be an ice plant, remember?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, now turn your lights off. Now look, when we get up there, we surround the clearing. Once everybody gets in position, then I'll blow the horn, like this. That'll be a signal for everybody to turn their lights on. You got it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, let's go. What happened? Where am I? You're all right. They had you,
But we burned them up. I think
We
were
were
dead.
dead.
I don't believe we really got them. It was...
But how'd I get here? Where am I?
Don't you remember? Spaceman.
Hey, it's old man Bailey. Man, when he fires that cannon, he means business. Let's get out of here.
I bet that nobody will ever believe us.
Of course not. Why should they? After all, we're just a couple of crazy kids.
But what if they come again? What if there are more of them around right now?
I guess all we can do is hope that the next guy that runs into one is 100% certified adult.
I guess you're right.
You know, being young does have its compensations.
Like what, for instance?
Ralph, how'd you like to be my best man?
And Cheryl can be my maid of honor.
Hey, man, have you slipped your track? I just got back on it.
Poor Daddy. He really will never believe it.
So why tell him?
Wow, Miss Mittens, that was something. Didn't we have a great time this weekend? I'm exhausted. I think I need to just like dig a hole in the backyard and just pull the dirt in. Lie in there and just pull the dirt in and just sleep for about 6 or 7, 8 years. What do you think? Yeah. Well, you already started your dirt nap already. I can see that. Oh, come on right on through, sir. Are you sure? Absolutely. No, that's okay.
Pick my nose on camera.
We're not professionals here. Go right ahead. So we had a great time and we met good friends, and we learned a lot about ourselves and each other. No, go right on through. Absolutely, no problem, no problem. I know it's time for all of us to get on the road here. We had a great time this weekend. We had a great creature feature weekend, and we hope to see you all somewhere, maybe a place like this, maybe at the grocery store, maybe at the laundromat, but we hope to see all of you soon. And until the next time, thank you for watching Cinema Insomnia.
Thank you.